Hey everybody, it's Katie. I'm 33 weeks pregnant today. I have a whole bunch of little things to share, so I'm just going to jump right in. Generally, this has been a pretty good week for me. It's been a little bit harder week for Alice. My in-laws were here for about 5 days, and we had a really great visit. We went off on lots of little day trips and adventures and stuff, and really had a really good time. Alice loved having them here. She absolutely loves having guests. The past couple of days, or few days since they left, have been really hard for her though. She's just been she's just going through a kind of a hard phase where she is having like potty regression, refusing to nap. She is refusing to let Mike do anything for her, and when he tries, she has like these total like exorcist tantrums. So things have been kind of hard like that. So I've not been getting the rest that I'd like to be getting right now. And you know, it's just been a little bit stressful that way. I did have 2 appointments this week with each of my midwives. I saw my nurse midwife and also my home birth midwives. And things are generally good. All of my stats are normal. Both of them remarked that the baby's head is super low in my pelvis. I don't know if that really means anything at this point. I am up another 3 pounds since the last time I reported my weight, whenever that was. So I'm pretty sure for the pregnancy I'm up 29 pounds. I would love to kind of cap out here around 30, but we'll just see. My body's just going to pretty much do whatever it's going to do, I think. Something that I was not expecting at all is that my nurse midwife feels that I'm still measuring far behind where I should be at this point. She measured me at 29 inches. This is my fundal height, the size of my uterus. She feels like I'm at 29 and I should be like at 33, so now I'm tracking sort of 4 weeks behind. My home birth midwives did think that I measured bigger than that, and maybe it's positional. I do feel like my home birth midwives are actually a little bit more precise and careful about these things, so I trust their measurement a little bit more. But in any event, my nurse midwife recommends having another growth ultrasound, which I have some conflicted kind of feelings about doing. Personally, I just really don't like getting a lot of ultrasounds. That's just a personal thing for me. There's sort of all this gray area, like, I don't know. I do feel like she's being sort of overly cautious, but I'm going to go ahead and get that done tomorrow just to make sure that there has been a change. Because if there hasn't been a change in the baby's growth since, 3 weeks previous when I had the other growth ultrasound, then, there might be something we need to do. And I do just want to make sure that the baby's healthy and that we can proceed with our birth plans, the way we're thinking. I will have my Group B Strep test done 2 weeks from now, so I'll be 35 weeks. And these 2 weeks leading up to that, I'm doing 2 things a little bit differently, or two kind of special things to just boost my immune system and hopefully, clear any Group B Strep. If you haven't been following me, I did test positive with Alice's pregnancy, and I would really like to, I know that doesn't necessarily mean I would test positive with this pregnancy, but it's just something I really want to try to prevent. I really want to try to prevent having to get antibiotics in labor and just generally eliminate that risk factor for the baby. So the things that I'm doing are that I'm taking echinacea. This is just your general immune booster echinacea. This is a tincture, and that is just like herbs sort of suspended in alcohol. Then you dilute in water. So I do 30 drops of this in a little bit of water about 3 times a day. A tincture is basically the same idea as like a vanilla extract that you would use for baking, where the plant stuff is suspended in alcohol, but the alcohol basically burns off, or it's so minimal that it doesn't really make a difference. I'm definitely not boozing it up with this stuff. Like, it's super, super minimal alcohol that I'm ingesting. The other thing that I'm doing is, as I mentioned before, these vaginal suppositories that are herbal, and I'm doing 1 a night for the 2 weeks, and then I'll continue through the birth. And they're something that my midwife works with an herbalist to make. There's a whole list of ingredients, but the base is coconut oil and cocoa butter. And then the herbs, like the major herbs, are calendula, rosemary, lavender, thyme, an herb called usnea, and then just a few other things. And it's just, again, like an immune booster, and supposed to really, help you have just like good, positive, beneficial vaginal flora. The funny thing about these is that I kind of expected, if there was any sort of like scent or anything, I expected it to be like medicinal, sort of like bitter herbal thing, but they actually smell like chocolate mint because of the cocoa butter and like the tea tree oil. That's the other major ingredient that I forgot. So they totally smell like Thin Mints. It's crazy. This week I talked to my boss a little bit about my plans for my leave for my job and when I plan to come back and stuff. We've had the exact same conversation before, but for some reason he keeps kind of bringing it up and saying, I really don't think you're going to be able to come back with 2 kids. I'm like, well, I need the job, so that's still my plan. If not this job, then I would be starting from scratch with something else, and I'd really rather continue what I have established. I work 8 hours a week. What I'm planning is to work through the very beginning of October. My boss has a big trial that I'm going to help him with because I'll get some extra money. And then at that point, I think that I could physically probably work, up until just about when I, have the baby. But I think just mentally, I'd rather have the time. I'd rather have just kind of be able to check out mentally from the job and just focus on things here and focus on our family a little bit more in like the weeks leading up to the birth. So that's my plan. That's about 3 weeks from now, which is crazy. But so I will go on leave, unpaid leave, at the beginning of October, and then I plan to go back after the new year, so early January. And our plan is just like when we had Alice, that my 2 little shifts a week, Mike will stay here with the kids. Alice will probably still go to school the way she does now just to keep her routine, so he'll just have the baby here for those 4 hours twice a week. And if that doesn't work out, then we'll make a change later, but at this point that is our plan, and that's what I keep telling my boss. I know he's happy with my work, so it's not like he doesn't want me to come back. I don't know what his deal is. Maybe he really does know something I don't, that maybe it's not going to work out later. But anyways, I am pretty excited to start kind of wrapping up my work stuff. A few things making me happy this week. I have been on a super big baking kick. Again, I don't know if I've mentioned it in previous vlogs, but I've been just really into just cooking and baking and making things. And especially baking this past week. I've been making stuff for, to give away and things to stick in my freezer for later, and just really enjoying that activity. I finally broke ground on the baby quilt, the new baby's quilt. I had made some sketches a while ago, but finally I've started like cutting fabric and piecing it together in my mind, and it's just really exciting to, to kind of see it starting to come together. I will share that with you probably when it's done, which I hope will be in the next couple of weeks or so. I've also been working on some craft projects for activities for Alice. I plan to do a separate video on this, on some of the things that we're doing to prepare her for the new baby and sort of make our lives easier in that transition time too. But along those lines, I'm just preparing a lot of activities. She likes a lot of novelty. She really needs, new activities, and I just want to be sure that, I've had some concerns kind of surface in my mind in the past week. It's something I talked about on Facebook a little bit, where I'm just concerned about, neglecting Alice, being less of a good mom to her, because my time will be split, especially when it comes to breastfeeding. I know that there will just be, I do plan to use like a Moby wrap and, be able to sort of feed the baby on the go as I need to, but I know that there will be a lot of time where I just need to focus on the newborn, and Alice is not going to have, the one-on-one that she's used to with me. So anyway, I've been working on little projects and things for her so that she has something constructive to be doing during those times where maybe I'm, stuck on the couch, or I'm changing a diaper, or I'm trying to get the baby to go to sleep. Just interesting things for her to be doing. I do know that everything will work out. I know we'll have our transition period as a family, and that, feeling like this is totally normal. I don't feel like I'm going to love the new baby less, or that I'll love Alice less, or that I'm not going to be able to figure it out. I'm just trying to put a little bit of energy in up front so that I just don't have as much guilt later, I guess. I think that pretty much covers it. Best things about this week, it's a two-way tie. One is that my mother-in-law always brings Trader Joe's goodies when they come to visit because we don't have one here. And these little guys are totally dangerous and have been saving the day, especially on these, like, you know, these days where I'm just not feeling that great and Alice does a nap. Yeah, a couple of those little caramels, pretty good. Also, we have been getting rain, and you know, it very rarely rains in the desert. It's raining really hard all over the Southwest, and I know that it is causing like severe weather and it's causing problems for people. I think there have been some deaths in Colorado. Luckily in our area, it hasn't been very serious. There has been some flooding and stuff, but really nothing threatening to people. And man, I just love it. The temperature has dropped a little bit. I got to wear a 3/4 length sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve, 3/4 length, whatever, shirt today, which is probably hasn't happened since about March. I'm totally just soaking up, seeing like the plants green up around me and splashing the puddles with Alice and just sleeping to the sound of rain, and all that stuff is just precious. That's everything for this week. If you can, again, keep your fingers crossed for us with this ultrasound tomorrow, just that the baby is still growing well. Again, we're gonna have like this long weekend where we won't get the results until early next week. My gut feeling this time is that things are okay, but you know, you just never know. So